Hello and welcome back to the Legend of Zelda, the Ocarina of Time. So, in the last episode, we got our friend Epona back, and we've got an upgrade to the scale that helps us dive. A couple heart pieces, some sculptures. So, next we're going to move on to the best side quest in the game. And so, what we're going to do is we're going to talk to this character right here. I bred a new type of miniature cucko. It's called the Pocket Cucko. I don't get goosebumps from this baby. They're very good at getting lazy late risers out of bed. Haven't you heard of them before? It makes them very happy to crow, especially when it wakes up a very heavy sleeper. However, it is not entirely happy right now. You look like you're good at handling them. Here, take this egg. After it hatches, bring it back to me after a while and I'll check out its mood. What do you think? Will you try? Yes. So now we have officially started the Biggoron Sword side quest. So what we need to do for this first is we need to push the day-night cycle forward one day. So we'll play the Sun Song twice. Now I'm going to make it night and I'm going to venture off to the side real quick. This was something I was gonna do, I believe, in the last video. Unfortunately, I had forgotten that there was a different way I needed to approach collecting one of the Skulltulas than what I had initially remembered, and then I jogged the brain and remembered. Just gotta come over here. Then we'll get this one up here. Oh. And then right behind this peak on the roof, we have another Skulltula. So that, I believe, now should make 44 or 45? 44. So, the next thing that we need to do is, just advance the day, or the time, one more half day. Alrighty, so the chicken hatched from the egg, so gonna grab this bad boy out. Now, it's not entirely clear where you need to go, but you just have to take it to this house here. And as we can hear, there's some snoring. And lo and behold, who's our favorite late riser in the game? It is Talon. What in tarnation? Can a person get a little shut-eye around here? So, if you have not gotten Epona yet, I don't believe Talon goes anywhere. But if you have already completed Epona, then it's, did you save Malon? Thanks, I'm going back to the ranch then. So, yeah, I believe he just hangs out here until you've completed that and then talk to him, so. That is definitely, definitely something that you may need to collect Epona for first, but I don't believe so. And then we're just going to go back, apparently the scenic route, and you just use the chicken, and she says it looks pretty happy, must have woken someone pretty lazy. So she's going to give me a rare and valuable one named Kajiro. So yeah, it belonged to her brother, and Kojiro is different from regular ones because he is blue. Now, I'm not entirely sure how you're supposed to figure this part out. I think this is kind of one of those, like, trial and error, figure it out as you go type things, because it's been so long since I've had to figure it out that I don't remember how I figured it out. But I'll make sure it's really clear and quick and streamlined. So the next place that we do need to go is to the Lost Woods. And of course, we're going to use our wonderful pony to do that. Again, Epona is fantastic to collect early on because you do a lot of adventuring by horseback through the middle section of the game. And... doo-doo-doo. And when I go into the Kokiri Forest, just like everywhere else, things are going to have changed a little bit, but I also am going to make it nighttime, just to exercise a check for a Skulltula. I don't have the greatest memory in the world, so sometimes what happens is I will collect or not collect something and not realize I haven't, or I already have. It's just kind of one of those fun little quirks about being memory deficient. And also, having played the game so many times, I can misremember really easily because I've beaten it so many times that I just, for some reason, remember doing something that I haven't actually done. And if you want to, you can come back over here by the Know-It-All Brothers house and just double check that you've gotten that Skulltula, and then there's one more to collect in here. Go away, giant Deku Baba. Get rid of the mad scrubs. And you can probably see it from here. Right up there. The easiest way to get this Skulltula is just to come around the back side of the house. I think I have this noted as... oh no, I have it noted as the twins' house. I thought I had it noted as the Know-It-All Brothers house, which is the first one that you collect. And I'm pretty sure that actually does everything for Kokiri Forest now. Yeah, so we have all the Skulltulas in here, so we don't need to worry about that anymore. And then we come all the way up over here to get into the Lost Woods. Dodging all the enemies and the mad scrubs, because they really don't make a whole lot of difference other than being a distraction more than anything. And it's this guy. I believe his name is Grog in Majora's Mask. We did see him sitting underneath the tree in Kakariko Village when we were a kid. But if you use the chicken, it said, why normally only a nice guy can tame you. Which means, you must be a nice guy. You must be. You must be. Please, Mr. Nice Guy, please. Deliver this stuff to the old hag in the potion shop in Kakariko Village. This will disappear if you take too long, so you gotta hurry. Yeah, so any of the traveling that I need to do that's on a timer, I will make sure is in the video. I will probably cut out the non-timed backtracking ones, so just bear that in mind. Just to make the video a little bit more watchable. But the magic bean that we planted here just beside that area, this is what it's used for. It creates a very quick shortcut out of the Lost Woods rather than having to go out and around to get out. Now, if you don't plant that one, you do still have enough time. That's not a concern, but obviously if you've got a shortcut and can make this part a little easier on yourself, I would strongly recommend it. Oh. Come on. Now, the one thing is, it's a lot easier to get to the old hag's shop when it is daytime as opposed to nighttime. So, if it is nighttime when you get to the bottom of the stairs of Kakariko Village, I strongly recommend playing the Sun Song before you go into Kakariko Village. It'll just speed up the time turn. But I believe if you're in Kakariko Village, it'll spoil the mushrooms. So just be careful on that. I do know that in Hyrule Field it doesn't, so. And now that it's daytime, we can actually take a shortcut. So normally you would go around the backside and hop from the ledge over the fence, kind of like we did collecting the chickens as kids. As a kid. And if it's daytime, then this shop is actually open. Now, this is the potion shop where we bought the blue flame from. If you have 300 rupees, you can buy your blue fire here, and then you don't have to worry about doing it before you become an adult. So that is another way that you can do it. There is somewhere you can get it for free too, but it's way out of the way, and I'll point out where you can bypass when we get to it. And with that bum, he had to go to the forest. I see. Hey, give it to me now. Okay, that's pretty demanding. If you see that fool, give this to him. It is the strongest medicine I have ever produced. However, this potion will not work on a monster. So yeah, so now we've swapped out the odd mushroom for the odd potion. And for the odd potion, it doesn't have a timer, so I'm actually going to cut from here back to the Lost Woods, just so that, you know, I can cut down some of this, because this adventure is quite long. So I'll see you when I get to the Lost Woods. Alrighty, so now that we're back at the Lost Woods, when you bring the potion back here, you'll notice that the guy that was here isn't standing here anymore, and now it's one of the Kokiri kids. Oh. How did that not work? That guy isn't here anymore. Anybody who comes into the forest will be lost. Everybody will become a Stalfos. Everybody, Stalfos. So he's not here anymore. Only his saw is left. That medicine is made of forest mushrooms. Give it back. Okay. So now we have the poacher's saw. Again, another step that I'm not entirely sure how you're supposed to figure out who to give it to. But obviously we're going to go do that right away. But we are going to make one quick detour, and that's over to the Sacred Forest Meadow. That is all the way over here. Actually, no, sorry, we don't need to go that far. Oh no! We're being blocked by Mido. So, you just need to play Soraya's song. It'll activate a short little dialogue with him. It says, that melody. Soraya plays that song all the time. Do you know Soraya? That song. Soraya taught that song only to her friends. Okay, I trust you. When I see you, I don't know why, but I remember him. Yeah, so if you do talk to him before you play the song, basically he just says, even though you wear Kokirish clothes, he doesn't, you're not a Kokiri kind of thing. And I also just remembered that to come over here, I needed it to be nighttime. So that's a fun little factoid. I should have registered beforehand, but that's okay. But yeah, so Mido obviously still grumpy as ever and all that fun stuff. But But yeah, once you've played that song, he moves out of the way permanently, so you don't have to play it every time. But we're gonna come into this grotto since we're only a few steps away. We're gonna all the way up here. Oh. And of course, step on it because that's what I do with most of them. And now we're gonna head out, and I'm going to meet you guys over at the Gerudo Valley. Okay, so now that we're at Gerudo Valley, this is the reason that you need Epona. I don't believe the hook shot's quite long enough to reach across the bridge in front of us. It is broken down, so you kind of have to give it some speed, and she will jump over the canyon, so another one of those cool little cutscene things. But the person you need to show the poacher's saw to is the construction, I think, manager or boss. Hey, that saw, it's mine. But I thought I left that saw with my old lady. Oh well. My Biggoron tool broke, so I was going to Goron City to get it repaired. Your coming here is great timing. Will you give me my saw? So yeah, we give it over. The good kid, thanks. I'm sorry that I can't give you something good in return, but take this anyway. So now we have the the broken Biggoron Sword. So this is the hilt and handle to the sword that we're gonna have to get repaired through the remainder of this little side quest. But while you're here, don't forget to make it nighttime, and there's actually 2 Skulltulas that you can collect here. There's one right here. Probably doing this the hardest way possible, but that's okay. Still got it. And then there is one right behind the tent over here. Right there. Oh. And I believe that now should be 46? 48. Oh, I'm ahead of where I thought I was. By 1. Why am I ahead by 1? What do you want, Navi? Yeah, so she's still barking about the forest, which we will be getting to soon. Ideally on the next episode, I'm hoping. And kazoom! We jump right back over. So the next thing that we need to do is to go to... where is it? Poacher Saw... Yeah, so I need to go to Death Mountain Trail now, so I'm just gonna go back in this way, quick cut, till I'm at Death Mountain Trail, and then we'll continue from there. Alrighty, so now we're gonna go up Death Mountain Trail, and if you remember when we did our Magic Bean side task as Kid Link, one of the locations was here. We're gonna take 2 trips on this flower, because the first one we're gonna collect that heart piece up top that has been taunting us. Nice and simple. Alright, so I have 2 pieces now. Whoa. And then we're going to take it for a second, much longer ride, and this will be important to remember when we come back the second time through Death Mountain. So you want to jump off here, and if you remember, this is the eruption zone. So what you want to do is line up so that you're aiming right down the middle, and then just like as Kid Link, just to make this easier, you can just run backwards, outrun everything. I'm pretty sure even if you just try to outrun it the normal way, I'm pretty sure you would have enough health to get to the top, no problem. So, and we've got, oh, there we go. You can use the hook shot to take care of that thing. That one. And then the third one that's up on the wall, you're not going to be able to reach with the hook shot, so you just got to climb up to this first plateau, look up, and then you'll be able to get it. Just bam, just like that. And if you actually come in here, if you've got 10 or more hearts, you've got more than enough time to do this. And I usually do this right away. But right on this section of wall right here, or this section of cliff, there's a wall that you can climb on. You just have to very carefully hop down. And, well, bam. Now we have 3 pieces of heart. Just go around and up just like that. Okay, so now what's going to happen, we're going to wake up the Biggoron. We're going to ask him to repair our tool. So he says, that broken knife is surely my work. I'm not going to do the weird accent complaining, whatever that is. I really want to repair it, but because of yesterday's eruption, my eyes are irritated. There are fine eye drops in Zora's domain. You will find them if you go see King Zora. Please get the eye drops. And we say yes. Swap out the Biggoron tool for the prescription. And as you've probably figured out at this point, the Biggoron Sword quest is essentially just a different narrative of one small favor. So you do one small favor, which begets another small favor, which begets another small favor. So that's all this quest really is. And oh, that eruption zone's really following me. So the next place that we're gonna go is, yeah, you'll hear that groaning until you leave Death Mountain Trail. But once I leave the end of Death Mountain Trail, I'm going to cut over to Zora's River. Again, somewhere we've already been. And, yeah, I'll show you the couple things we need to collect on the way through there. Alrighty, so now we are at Zora's River. This area is largely unchanged. Specifically the river, there's everything behind it is quite different, so... But, the nice thing is, because we're an adult and we're much bigger, we're apparently an easier target for Octoroks. But, that aside, because we're bigger, we do not require the chicken to get through here like we did last time, so that definitely makes navigating this a lot easier. There we go. Yeah, the Octoroks likely are just going to be a more of a nuisance than anything for you. But we are going to come over this way. And if you want to, and I probably should have done this to show it off, but the bean flower beside the bean cellar when we were a kid, If you use that one, it'll get you through this area, but I only just recently started using it in my playthroughs, so I still forget about it sometimes. But yeah, if you just want to... Oh, come on. There we go. I don't know why on that sidewall sometimes Link just won't jump up on it, so just keep that in mind. But once we get to the top of this ladder... Looks like it's about to become nighttime, but I'm going to be impatient. And voila! Here is another Skulltula right here. And as we continue on, there will be one more up by the river, or up by the waterfall. And I'll show where. And it is just around this bend. You notice they're starting to get snowflakes in the air. You look straight up on this wall. You jump up on the fence, you'll be able to reach it. You won't be able to reach it from the ground. Unless you wait to get this one until you have the upgrade for the hookshot. But if that's all it takes to not have to wait for it, I'll just collect it then and there. Which also means that I should be at 50. Yes, so that means that we do get the second last reward from the Skulltula house. And when we come into Zora's domain, we will notice that it is a lot colder in here than when we were in here before, so this likely is caused from something Ganondorf has done, which should come as a surprise to nobody. Oh no! King Zora's encased in some kind of weird red... I think it's supposed to be ice based on the fact that it's a blue flame, but I don't know, that's kind of weird. That was a design choice that I thought was a little strange. So we'll collect the Skulltula here on the wall, because once we go from here, we will be on a timer, and we have 2 different timers to beat to get to the end of the Biggoron Sword quest. So when you go to do this, you will need your blue flame and the prescription out. Now the blue flame, obviously that's to thaw out King Zora. Just like that. And we'll come back the other way. You can also just jump off if you want. It just doesn't save you any time. And then you lock onto him and you use your prescription. Oh, this is... well, eye drops. You might say have them, you might say we have them, you might say we don't. We do have the ingredients. If you take the ingredients to the doctor at the lake laboratory, he can make the drops for you. But you need to deliver them fresh. Can you make it before they spoil? I think we can. And this is the part where you need Epona. I do not believe you can run fast enough on foot. Because this timer isn't super strict, but it is the tightest timer we've had so far. Yeah, I always just jump right off the waterfall. To hell with my ankles and knees and hips. I don't need them, I just need to run. And we're basically just gonna take the fastest way we can by not climbing up on ledges and just follow the river. Just run, follow the river. The Octoroks, mostly you can just ignore. They'll fire rocks at you, but even if they do hit you with a rock, again, if you've got 11 hearts, you're not generally worried about it. Keep going down the river. Now, the one thing that I should have done before I came in here was set up Epona so that she was right there and ready to go. So that was the one misstep, but I mean, it's not that big of a deal. Again, the timer isn't super tight, but it is still pretty tight. So we'll just come over here. Okay. Looks like the quickest way, I guess really it's the shortest way, come around this side. Now, you will probably notice as we go through these areas, there will be points where, and I haven't shown them off, we get those things. Those are big Poes. We will be dealing with those pretty shortly. There is 10 of them in the field, so... But we have no way of dealing with them right now, so we're just going to ignore them. Okay. Get to this vent. Oh, you... See, this is where Epona can be a little bit of a pain. And where you can lose your run, so... There we go. Nice and easy. Yeah, sometimes Epona, if you... I think it was I hit the A button too close to the obstacle. And if you do that, then for whatever reason, she just won't jump over it, so... Yeah, we're just gonna go like this. Hop down. And yeah, I'm still gonna have, like, 15 seconds. Oh. This is another thing that can do it. Okay, like 16 or 17 seconds, so even with a couple mistakes, I still had a reasonable amount of time. Again, it's not a really tight timer, but it is a little bit unforgiving if you make mistakes. So, yeah, what I've skipped over here is he's excited because he thinks I'm bringing him an eyeball frog to cook fried eyeballs. No, these are for eye drops. So he's going to make us the eye drops, and the eye drops, just like the eyeball frog, are going to be on a timer. Doesn't have any preservatives in it, so it won't last long at this temperature. Run as fast as you can to Death Mountain. You're young, you can do it. Yes, I can. So now that we have the world's finest eye drops, we are going to run back out. And we have a 4-minute timer, but again, it's a pretty tight timer if you make mistakes, but for the most part, once you get used to it, it's not bad at all, so... Couple of trapping spots is this ledge right here. If you run at it too fast, Epona will stop and rear up. Again, just like before, another problem is this fence. If you don't hit it straight, then you have to correct. And again, that was likely because I just hit A too close to the obstacle itself. So that is something to be mindful of. I still think going up this way is the quickest way. But yeah, even with like that tie-up, I'm not worried about my time, especially with that, especially with the bean sprout that we rode on earlier. That really cuts down a whole lot of time on this run. Okay. And once we get down here... Well, one of the things that I recommend practicing before doing this and running around on Epona is practicing getting Epona to stop quickly and releasing the joystick so that when you go to hit A, you're not going to try and get her to rear up, and you'll actually climb off the horse. that is one of those things that as I was learning how to do this side quest, I really had to practice to get right so that it wasn't such a time waster. But we just come back up through here, up to Death Mountain Trail, just like you would expect. And with these Tektites, on this point in the run, I don't even bother with them. I just run around them, I dodge the boulders. This is the point in the run where you don't want to get tied up doing anything you don't have to be doing. So, once you hit this flower, you're basically in good standing, so. And then we go up. And then, just like before, you line yourself up for the eruption zone, and oh, and you just run backwards. I would say this is the one argument I have that this isn't a quote-unquote glitchless run, because I don't know if this is a glitch or an exploit or an oversight. I'm gonna guess it's an oversight more than it is anything, but yeah, no Game Shark required, no nothing, so I take that as a legitimate part of the run. Oh, come on. Don't start playing this game with me. There we go. This is where I start to get a little bit nervous. Not because I don't have a reasonable amount of time, but it always seems like climbing up this wall takes a lot longer than it rightfully should. And no, you can't zip or hook shot onto this, so you do have to physically climb up it, so. But yeah, even with some tie-ups and stuff like that, like I'm still gonna have about 20 seconds left. Getting Biggoron to accept the prescription can be a little bit tough and a little bit janky. But the nice thing is, once the cutscene starts for him, the timer will stop for that period of time. Okay, so he's relieved. There we go. This is stimulating. It's working great. Now I can get back to my blade business. My work is not very consistent, so I'll give you this, give this to you so you won't forget. And after a few days, we can go ahead and claim our Biggoron Sword. So you can just come in here and play the Sun Song. You have to play it 6 times, and then you'll be able to pick up the Biggoron Sword. It stops the timer, so you don't need to worry about dying. And I'll see you once I'm done this part. Okay, so now that I have played the Sun Song 6 times to advance it 3 days, we should be able to claim our Biggoron Sword now. Let's see what he says. There we go. So he says this sword is his finest work. So this is indestructible, and it is twice as strong as the Master Sword. The trade-off is you do not have use of your shield. I am perfectly fine with that. I do like the extra damage input, so I do fully intend to use this as much as I can. Okay. Oh, this is just ridiculous. I'm going to die at this rate. There we go. So there's 2 more things that I want to do. I do want to quickly pick up... Oh. Run, Link, run very fast. So I do want to stop off, pick up our next... Oh. I was totally expecting to get hit by a boulder. I wonder if that only happens when you're Kid Link, like it tracks you because you're not very fast. Regardless, none of this is the point. We're going to stop off, get our next gold Skulltula reward, and then we are going to head over to the Sacred Forest Meadow just so we can set up to get into the next temple so that we can just start the forest temple right from the beginning of the next episode. So figured that's the best way I could lay out this this point. This is going to be a longer video no matter what, and even based on the time that I'm at for recording, even after the cuts, it still, I think, is going to be quite a long video. So, but if I don't have to start before the forest temple, I can just go ahead and get the start in there. Then that just works out a little better. I do believe you get that reward from this guy. Oh. The curse has been broken. Thank you. Here's a reward for you. So yes, now we are walking into the next temple with 12 full hearts, so that obviously will be helpful. So you may or may not pick this up, depending on how many Skulltulas you've defeated up to this point. But obviously I think I've got 51 slain now. So now I just have to get the other 49 for the next reward. I will meet you over at the Lost Woods, and we'll head into the Sacred Forest Meadow. Now that we're at the Lost Woods, I did want to show you another reward you get for completing the Biggoron Sword quest. Once you've completed it, the Skull Kid comes back, but he is not friendly towards you. So, the Skull Kid is far and beyond the fastest way to generate some cash if you need it quick. The Goron Sword does make pretty quick work of him, but you do need to do this quickly or he'll disappear. But when you defeat him, you will get a giant 200 rupee. So that obviously is big value. The nice thing is he is repeatable, so all you have to do is leave and come back and you can fill your wallet really quickly. So that is far and beyond your fastest money generator now. Okay, and now Navi's still barking about that, so I guess we'll advance on. There's also 2 of them down there. The 2 Skull Kids that we had played the Ocarina with. But they're a little bit tougher, so you kind of have to really work a lot harder for those 2. Now, if you don't want to get the heart piece in Kakariko and you just want to get over here faster, if you jump down Death Mountain and go into Goron City and take the shortcut, it will lead you here and you can get back here a lot quicker. Like I said, I wanted to grab the extra heart piece from the Skulltula house, so I just decided I'll just run back here, and I put a cut in anyway, so nobody would have noticed if I hadn't said anything anyway. So now we're going to come back into the Sacred Forest Meadow. Now the difference here is that Navi's going to point out the narrow passages. We need to take it slow. She's going to point out the Z targeting again to look around corners. The reason for that is instead of the mad scrubs that were shooting us with Deku Nuts before, we now have giant moblins, and if they charge you, they are indestructible. So, see if I can see him. Yeah, there he is. So there's the moblin. You look at him. Yeah. Oh. I did that wrong. So yeah, now I have to wait for him to not be paying attention because I did that wrong. I was just hoping to cut in front of him and jump back and you could see him charge. But they do have a little bit of good hearing, but if you're quiet, you can get pretty close to them. Hit them from behind with the hook shot or the Biggoron Sword if you've got it. And they're not so bad, but yeah, so that's what I was trying to show. And then once he puts his spear down, you can just kind of take him out like that. So they are a little bit of a pain if you're not used to them, but just bear in mind there are a few ways that you can take care of them. And, oh, that guy lined up nicely. Now once you get to this point, there's 2 ways to go around, and both of them require you to crawl out of a pool. It's just a little bit of luck whether the moblin that's right here is going to be looking at you or not. And he does come around the corner, so he inspects both halls. So just keep that in mind when you're coming to this area, because this last one you might have to be a little patient with. But, you know what? Let's just go grab Spare Fairy. And this guy right here. Oh, come on. There we go. So, for me, the boss of the Forest Temple is hit or miss. Some people say it's the easiest boss they fight. Some people agree with me, it's probably one of the more difficult ones. But I just rather not take a chance, so I always just fill my bottles with fairies if I don't need it. And just in case. I have had it in recent playthroughs where I've just gotten really bad luck and died, but we'll see how it goes. Now when we come up this staircase, we have a giant moblin. And what he's going to do is hit the ground and cause these shock waves at us. And if they hit you, or his club hits you like I let him do there, you get flung back. So, a little bit of this, but once you're right up next to him, you just swing away. Ah. So I love how I explained it of, oh yeah, just this, and it's perfectly fine and easy, and I screw it up. So, that's fun. Okay. So now, we're going to come up to where that pad was where we met Soraya before. Ah, our friend Sheik. At least we hope, friend. Not confirmed yet. The flow of time is always cruel. Its speed seems different for each person, but no one can change it. A thing that doesn't change with time is a memory of younger days. In order to come back here again, play the Minuet of Forest. Alrighty, so we've now learned the Minuet of Forest. So this is our first warp song. Link, I'll see you again. Poof. Gone. So what the Minuet of Forest will do is whenever we play it anywhere, I believe, except for inside dungeons, there are certain locations where you can't use warp songs at all. But when we do, it'll bring us right back to this pad right here. And there's going to be 5 more of these that we learn that will take us to various locations. So, yeah. Anyways, with that being said, I'm going to cut the video here so that we can come into the Forest Temple and get started on the next video. Thank you so much for coming and checking out the video. If you did like it, please drop a like. If you really liked it, don't forget to subscribe on your way over to your next video. And thank you for all the support. Until the next one, take care.